Nice to meet you. My name is Leah Guzman. I am a artist and board certified art therapist. And part of me doing this online retreat is to have you stand in your power. This has been part of my learning journey and been wanting to share these tips and tools and techniques with you. So that's what I do for my private practice is I help others show their authentic self and stand in their power as well. So that is my intention for today, is just to have you share your light and hopefully to inspire you and create a game plan or a step into that direction that you want to go to. My word for this year was glow up. So that's kind of like my ideal, is that to have us all glow up together. And we're just kind of lighting up the world because we are standing in our power. And whatever that means for you, whether it's just speaking up at the dinner table or whether it is, you know, being able to provide your services or even putting your art out into the world. So whatever it is for you, that's what's most important. Okay, awesome. We have some people from Northern California, Germany. Beautiful. Awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and I'm going to see if you guys can see it here. Can you all see my screen?
Yeah.
Yes? Okay, we got a thumbs up. Okay, so it says, grab your art journal because we are going to be doing some art because I like to process information by creating, right? So what we're going to be doing is day one, we are going to be finding out our why in our art practice, or it doesn't even have to be art practice, is finding out your why in whatever desire that you have. Really looking at different areas of your life. I like to, as an art therapist, I like to, when I work with my clients, I like to look at your life as a whole, like what areas need to be addressed, what areas need to be give love, and what areas are we avoiding? Because that's a lot of times where that fear is, right? And so when we're standing in our power, that fear is going to come up, just part of the process. And it's learning how to navigate that, right? So we're going to get clear with our why, because the why, our intention, is what's going to pull us through to following through, okay, to seeing our desires come to full effect. On day two, we're actually going to be transforming that relationship that we have with fear. It's part of that process. And then day three, we are going to be stepping into our soul's calling, being our authentic self, and taking action. It's going to be our action day. All right. So I want you guys to have fun. Okay, this is part of this process too, is to have fun with it. And so what I've done, the fun part, is I made it more like a game. Let me go to the next slide. And there's prizes. And part of the prizes are my new book. It's called The Art of Healing and Manifesting. And it's going to be the prize for today. So I'm going to pick some people for tomorrow and I'll let you know. So to win the prize, all you have to do is you post your artwork in the Facebook group and then comment on 3 other of the members here, because I want you guys to get to know each other. And then comment on each other's post by supporting each other. We are here together. If you showed up today, is that we are here to support each other, right, in community. So if you're here, I would love for you to put your camera on so that we can see each other. The reason that I have the Create a Soul online retreat group is because I love connecting. When I first started it, there on Facebook, you just would do a live and then you wouldn't see who's there, right? And I would just comment in the chats. And it makes you feel a little bit disconnected. So we're here in this Zoom specifically because we are going to be sharing with each other. We're going to be having breakout rooms. We're going to be sharing. And then even in the Facebook group, posting our art and supporting each other. So thank you so much for putting on your camera. So a part of this is also to let you know that this is a safe space. So if you've been in the Creative Soul Online Retreat group, which is a free group, I always check everybody out and just making sure that you are cool or going to be here. So I am very protective of the group, and I really want you to engage with each other and have fun. And usually is when I do these free experiences, which I do every few months, is when we get the most interaction, where we get to share and get to learn about each other, right? So we have the prizes. Like I said, I mentioned today, as you're sharing, you're going to be able to get this book. I'm going to pick a few people for that. Tomorrow's prize is going to be my Oracle deck. And then the last day's prize is going to be our membership group. And the membership group, I started that because I wanted to make more art together. So instead of just doing it every few months, we meet a couple times a month in the Creative Soul Society membership, and we have a lot of fun, different exercises. For example, we're going to be doing art self-care boxes with an art therapist, Liz Portuondo. We're going to be healing the mother wound next month with another art therapist. So I have different presenters, I have artist interviews, and then I also host a few sessions as well. We've been doing some chakra work and some oracle cards. So lots of good stuff. And I want you all to participate fully so that you have that opportunity to win a prize and have fun. Okay, so I'm going to just go to the chat. Vienna, Connecticut, London, Hong Kong, beautiful Canada, South Africa. Man, we are all over the world. Beautiful. Okay, so let's get started. Sorry, my camera's not on right now. No, that's totally okay. If you can't do it, but I love seeing your faces. I love seeing that you can engage with us, because that's what is like that heart connection where we can, share information, because I am going to interact with you. For just another little mention here, I did mention that it was a safe group, but I also want to say that just have a beginner's mind. So if you've done something that you might have done before, just say, ask yourself, are you using this information? Are you, how are you applying it to your life? Okay. All right. So I'm going to go ahead, share my screen again. Okay, so with this one, it says, why did you join? Why did you join this group today? What is it that you want to gain from being here? So if you could just take a moment and put it in the chat, and then let me know, why did you join today? I think that's really important. What do you want to get from being here? I'm going to come back to this chat. Okay, someone says just wants to learn something new. They're intrigued, pushing through, recovering through additional fears. Curiosity, I love creating with others, an opportunity to receive instead of being the guide. Love that. To know more about myself and change myself. Community, create a new profile. Oh, I love that. That's a good one. Inspiration, motivation. Excited about the idea of change around fear. Beautiful. So that's definitely what we're going to be learning about, is learning how to navigate that fear when it comes up. Okay, so you just want to be inspired, it sounds like, and you're curious, transforming myself and practice to get into the creative flow. I love your art experiences. I love the theme, standing in your power. Awesome. Yeah, some of you have been here before, which is really cool. I love that you're come back. Different approach and perspective. Gain clarity. Okay. Beautiful. Okay, good. And so as you gain clarity, as you, looking at your desire, because you got to be clear about like what it is that you want, right? What do you think is going to change in your life if you have more control over your fear, or if you didn't feel scared to do something? What do you think is going to change? Like, why is this important to be here and do this work? Maeve says, grow my creativity and gain some intuition. Okay, so learning to listen to your intuition. More joy and abundance. Yes, that's why we're here. Let's see, I could step into my authentic self. Beautiful. Focus, priorities. Share my gifts with others. I will have courage to do new adventures. I might be more active in building a business. Okay, good. Beautiful. Yes, we need to get clear of like why we're here, what we want to learn. Find my own uniqueness. Yes, because we're all unique and we all have something special to share with others. So Victoria says, trying to figure out exactly what my fear is and what is holding me back. Oh, that's a good one, Victoria, because sometimes this is what happens in life is that the fear comes like when we've already started. A lot of times, it's when we're in that process and then you get freaked out. And I'm going to just share a story with you in just a moment. And well, actually, I guess I'll go ahead and share my story now because since we just brought it up, because I want you to start thinking about like when you start moving towards your goals, moving towards your desires, whether you want an art business, maybe you want a solo show, maybe you want just to have a better relationship with your partner. A lot of times we are not even clear that we have certain blocks or fears until we started the process, right? So it might not even be the first step, but it's usually like when we're in it. And I'll go ahead and tell you a story of, because there's been many times, the fear comes up many times in this process of starting something, right? So for me, I started my business, oh goodness, it's probably been about 12 years now when my kids were really, really little. And I had so much fear about showing my art to the world. I remember the first time that I even posted on Facebook, sharing my art. I was so freaked out that I went and ran in my bedroom and got under the covers. I was like, oh my God, I didn't realize how freaky that was, right? Or even when someone would ask me how much something was, I had so much anxiety about putting a price to it, right? So it's like, I never knew it until I actually put myself in this situation. I was like, oh, wow, there's some fear there, right? There's some anxiety there. And I needed to listen to it. A lot of times we will avoid it. Well, maybe I'm not supposed to do that because I don't really want to deal with it, right? A lot of times we'll walk away or, and a lot of like, even for like me coming out and sharing my work with others, I had to have a much better relationship with money, right? So if my anxiety was around money, then I needed to have a better relationship around money. So even like the first coach that I hired, that was what I learned from that person, was just learning ways to have a better relationship with my money, and that I could put a price on my paintings, put a price on my services that I offer, right? So that I wasn't scared or I didn't have fear around it. So I've really grown in that area by having a better relationship, because everything is about relationships. And so another things that came up with my business, I remember when I started putting artwork like in little boutiques around Miami, because I'm from Miami, Florida. And I had some artwork in a salon. And at that time, I was really into painting anatomical hearts. And this neurosurgeon saw my anatomical hearts, and he called me up one day and he's like, hey, I saw your heart paintings. Are you open to doing some brain paintings? I was like, oh, that sounds interesting. So I went and I learned all about like how the brain works and, and did all these like crazy brain paintings. And he invited me to his neurosurgeon conference, which I did for 3 years. But I remember going to that neurosurgeon conference and being totally freaked out. I was like, these people are so smart. I mean, what are we going to talk about? What are they like? What if they come and they question me about these brain paintings that I've been like doing research, and I was understanding like the circle of Willis and then how the blood flows to the brain and things like that. But they didn't care. When I got there, I was like, you know what? The worst thing is nobody talks to me, and I'll be okay, because I wouldn't even know what to say. But they would come up to me and they'd be like, how did you get here? Who invited you here? This is so cool that your art's here. Like, that's all they really want to know. It's like, you know, how I got inspired to do these brain paintings. So a lot of times it's like we stop ourselves before we get started, and that fear comes up, right? So I had a most recent fear come up, which is a little bit of a vulnerable share here, which I'm going to share with you anyway, because it's part of my process of standing in my power that I feel really, really, really made a transformation for me. And this was writing my books. So I have a couple books out. I have a children's book out that I wrote like many moons ago when my kids were really little. It was called Rad is Mad. And that was kind of a healing book for myself because I was feeling sad and mad. That's what the SMAD is about. So I wrote that basically for my own healing journey and putting myself out there. But then I had this, doing my art practice and doing my art therapy practice, I had this idea of how I wanted to write this book, which is now The Art of Healing Manifesting, which is one of the prizes today. And it's all about the chakras and how about, getting your energy into alignment and how our artwork can be healing for us, and especially about using the colors and, different components of the chakras and law of attraction. And I love law of attraction. So I like to practice that too with manifesting. So part of my manifesting process was I was writing down different publishing places where I could get my book published. And I knew I was going to reach out to 50, and I had this list going on. And as I was creating this list, I actually got contacted by a publishing place, but they wanted me to write a book for them. Remember, collaborate with them about writing. It was actually this book, Essential Art Therapy Exercises. So I put this other book on hold. I was like, okay, well, after I'm done with this one, then I'll finish that other one, right? So I ended up writing this book with this publishing house. And it was a great experience because I got to learn about working with a team and just how to set up the book process and marketing it and things like that. But it was interesting. I felt like I was standing in my power as I was doing it. I was like, oh, I'm putting in my 18 years of experience into a book. I'm going to be letting people know about this. And there was a part where I actually had to reach out to people in my field to get endorsements. And there's many people in the field that I look up to and admire. And I was really disappointed because I had some people that I really did admire and look up to, and they didn't appreciate what I was doing. They didn't like my book and they didn't endorse me. And I was crushed. I was just like, what? I was like, I put so much heart and soul into this book, and they felt like it was going to give a wrong message. And I was like, well, did you read the book? Because I talk about what art therapy is, and you have to get a master's degree to even practice it. And it's important to, get it. I see the book as a taster. People get a little taster, so that if they need to dive deeper and do the work, they'll actually contact an art therapist. I feel like this is expanding the field. And the thing is, from that disappointment, I had to get really clear with my why. Okay. And the why was, this is when I had to do some soul searching, because I had to kill my ego for that time period. But the ego never really dies because it comes back again. But I had to really look. It's what, why am I doing this? And it made me get really clear that I really wanted to make an impact. And I knew that me helping more people, or me reaching more people, this is the way that I'm going to do it. Okay. That was my why. Okay. And I had to get clear with that. And I had to realize that I had a part of myself, which I'm a recovering people pleaser. And I have to realize that not everyone's going to like what I'm doing. And that's okay. And not everyone's going to like me. And that's okay. Right. And when I realized that, that's where I got to stand in my power. And that's where I said, you know what, I don't care about them, and I don't have to get their approval to do what I'm doing. And that felt so good to me. I was able to release it and share my gifts. Okay. So I just want to let you know that sometimes once you've started something, those fears come up, and it's just learning how to navigate it. Okay. So really great question from Victoria. She says, standing in your power. What does that mean exactly? Oh, great question, Victoria, because this is why we're here. Standing in your power is about being your authentic self. It's knowing who you are and what your purpose is and what your why is, what's your intention. We all are manifestors, okay? Whether you're conscious of it or not, we are always manifesting something, okay? We always want something. That's just part of life, right? We're always wanting something. And so when we look at our desire, I want you to get clear about why do you want that desire? Why is it important to you? For example, if you're just doing your business to make money, that's not going to get you that's not going to pull you through during the tough times, because tough times happen. Just like me writing the book, when I got that roadblock, it was like I was crushed, and I was like, well, what is my why? What's going to get me through? So I had to go back to my why of, I want to help people. And if I can just have a message and put it out into the world, and this is part of the process, let me do it. Let me stand in my power. Let me be authentic and share myself and share my wisdom. Okay. I hope that makes sense, Victoria. I hope that's a little bit clear, because that's what we're going to be doing. And when you stand in your power, when you are your authentic self, it's going to make an impact around, like, from the people that are around you. It's going to have an impact either on your children or your partner, or if you're by yourself, it's going to have an impact with the people that you see at the grocery store. It's going to have different in your friends. Like, it's going to have an impact of how you carry yourself, because really being your authentic self is the most powerful. Just being you and showing up for your desires and saying yes to them. Okay. So it's also being clear about, like, what it is that you want and why you want to stand there in your power. Okay. Lisa says, I feel I've had the same epiphany recently as well. Beautiful. Yes, it happens when we stand in our power, right? Okay, so I'm going to give you some different ways of what that being your authentic self. It's really related to self-actualization. Okay, and it's looking at like success as like your own happiness, right? Okay, so I'm going to go back to sharing my screen. Okay, so is everyone clear about what they want? What they want to call in, like standing in your power? Is everyone clear on that? Of why you're here? Saying yes to your desires. Yeah, so what is it your desire? What area of your life would you want to stand up in? I know Kristen is standing up in her art career and sharing her services with others. Who else? We have Marie here too, also sharing her services with others. I know there's a lot of healers here, right? So looking at this is like, what would happen if you didn't follow through with doing your desire? Okay, so look at 5 years down the road and say, what if I did not follow through? Nothing's changed. What would that feel like for you? Okay. And that came up for me even with my new book, because I said, how do I want to go about this? And when I was thinking about it, I was like, well, I don't really want to use the publisher again, because they don't actually deal with anything about spirituality. So I know that I couldn't go that route with them, but I was like, I want to do this on my own. And a part of doing this on my own was, it was a big investment. It was an investment in myself, because I had to hire a team, right? So I got to that point where I said, okay, what if I don't do this? How would I feel 5 years from now? I was like, you know what? I would be disappointed in myself because I didn't follow through. So I did it. I took the risk. I have no idea how this will turn out, but I'm proud of myself that I followed through. And that's what that satisfaction is. That's what that self-actualization is, that, you can invest in yourself and you can have trust in the universe that this download, this desire came through to you, and that you are going to have it like come through you and, come into your reality, right? Are there ways to identify your true why? Yeah. So let's go ahead and, oh, Lisa says, I know I would regret it if I do not. Yeah, most definitely the regret would be there. So I'm going to share with you Let me go back to my share screen. Heather says, my why is to heal others and to raise the conscious vibration of others awakening. I am working on being my authentic self all the time without fear. Beautiful. And the fear will be there. And so how we work with it, right? But I love how clear you are, Heather, with your why. I'll just share this slide really quick because I love this. This was Mel Robbins had said this about confidence. It was like when we stand in our power and we stand in our authentic self, like our thoughts. It says most people think about it's believing in yourself, but it's really about your willingness to try. And you can learn to believe in yourself, right? As you take those baby steps, you are following through. It's like ticking off the boxes. And as you're ticking off the boxes, you're going to feel good about it. Okay, we're getting into our art making in just a moment. Okay. Thank you for being here and sharing this. So identify your why so you can stand in your power. So your why might be to heal generational trauma so it's not passed down to your children. Okay, that might be it. You might want to be in a healing experience. Or you may want to experience love and healthy relationships. That's totally important, right? That you just want to have that heart connection. Your why might be about creativity and expressing yourself fully, to have fun and play. That's a why right there, to have a good time. It might be about connecting to spirit. It could be about health and self-care, feeling at home in your body and having energy. And I'll have to give you an example of this. I started doing like high intensity training this past year, and which is totally not my cup of tea. Like I'm really not into like workouts and stuff like that. And so I had to get clear about why I was doing it. And part of why I was doing it is that I wanted energy so that I could show up for my art therapy sessions, or like, you know, working with the clients that I coach, or be with my husband, or, you know, play with my kids. I needed energy. So a part of this process is you have to give energy to get the energy back, right? So that's part of law of attraction. If you want love, if you're seeking a partner, you need to like up your game on the self-love. That's how you attract it, right? So, and that goes with every other area as well. Whatever you want to give or get, you're going to have to give. And so another one is influence. That could be a why. It could be impacting people, empowering others, inspiring others. So that became my why with the book, right? And then also, you know, your own calling of, you know, exploring your unique gifts and what you have to offer other. And a part of that is working with other people, being able to communicate and share and being open to working with that, you know, helping others. Okay, so I haven't looked at the chat. I'm going to go back to it. I'm going to stop share because this says draw your why and be bold and be courageous. So a part of doing this is getting clear about why you're doing it, what your desire is, why you're doing it, and how is it going to impact you? How is it going to impact other people? Because that's what's going to pull you through when it gets sticky, when it gets hard, and it does. We're going to go deeper tomorrow into how like the ego works and how to decipher between your intuition versus the fear. We're going to talk about that tomorrow. But today I want you to get clear about what is it that you really want, right? And then what's going to be the fuel that's going to keep you on track? Because when those hard times come, what's going to get you back up? Okay, so I want you to put yourself in this image. Draw yourself in this image. How is it impacting you? What does it feel like? How is it impacting others? That's how we get clear about our why. And Heather, I know you shared my why is to heal others and raise the conscious vibration of others awakening. That's beautiful. What does that look like? It sounds really magical and it sounds very powerful, right? So show us, show me what that looks like. So we're going to spend, I'm going to give you like 8 minutes to go ahead and draw this out. Use your markers, watercolors, whatever resonates with you to go ahead and draw this out. And Caitlin had asked, I'm not sure if I answered your question or not. Are there ways to identify your true why? Okay, so you gotta ask yourself, what is it that you really want? For one, so if you want to share that with us, that would be great. What is it that you really want? And then we can say, let's explore, well, why do you want that? Beautiful. Heather says it has so much to do with healing myself first and foremost. Beautiful, Heather, because that is, you know, in the parts that we need healing, that's where we can teach from, right? So you're placing the light in the darkness, right? And that's why I feel like it's so important for myself as part of my mission is I want to empower others. I want people to step into their light, and I make that part of my own work and what I teach. Okay, so Caitlin says, are we drawing what we really want if we aren't sure of our why? Okay, so Caitlin, would you be brave enough to chat here and say, what is it that you really want? Okay, so Kristen asks, are we drawing ourselves doing our why? So you're drawing out the desire and like, why is this important? So for me, I'll go back to my book example. I'm writing books because I want to empower others. I want other people to get into alignment, to help heal, to help them manifest, right? So I would see myself, just giving you an example of me and probably my book standing here in a power pose, right? That's in my power. And then maybe the light is shining on the people that it's reaching, and I could use different things to reach those people. So I'm just kind of giving you a visual, because as artists, as creatives, we use symbols, we can use metaphors of what that looks like. Okay, so Caitlin says, I want to have my own business and get out from doing community work. Okay, an outpatient service. Okay, so you want your own business, beautiful. And then why is your own business? How are you going to help people in your own business? Who are these people that you're helping, right? What do you want to do for these people in your business? And I think it's unique for everyone. Like I'm saying, like as I came out in my own private practice, I really wanted other creatives. They don't have to be art therapists, but they could be, you know, wanting to life coach or wanting to use art in recovery or doing anything that is creative. I want to help them shine, like raise up and shine their light, right? So get clear about why are you helping people in your business? Because people are going to ask you, like, what do you do? And why is that important? Right? So you got to know who your client is. Okay. So I enjoy working with those who struggle with relationships and communication. Okay. And what do you want for them? What's the end result? They're struggling with relationships and communication. You want to see them in that end result. So that's what you would draw out. That's your why, is that you want to see people have beautiful relationships and communicate clearly so that they don't struggle. But you want to know that that's your underlying, because it lights you up when you see it. I work with a lot of teenagers, and it lights me up when I see that their self-confidence is when they feel empowered, when they create an image because they've been in the creative flow and they create like a painting that they're really proud of, right? Because that's showing me that they are being lifted, right? When they make that painting, like, can I go show so-and-so and so-and-so? Like they could feel the buzz, right? That's my why. That's what gets me going. Is I'm going to create breakout rooms on my side in just a minute. I'm going to put everyone in a breakout room. And you're going to have an opportunity to meet someone in our Creative Soul Online Retreat group and just let them know what it is that you're desiring. What is your why? Why are you doing what you're doing? And each person's going to have, we'll say 3 minutes to share. So you'll be in there for 6 minutes. Oh, Victoria says, thanks. I'm thinking about getting closer to understanding my why. A connection with Mother Nature, the universe, to know myself, to understand my life, its purpose, to feel part of something bigger than myself, to use that power and energy to heal, then help others to heal what I've learned. Yes. And a lot of times it's with, like I said, it's with those things that you've healed within yourself, and that's what you can go teach. And say,
I accidentally went out of my group.
oh, okay. Did you get to share, Heather?
I did. I was finishing up and I just hit the wrong button, but I finally made it. This is a self-love day. I finally got to a point where I can actually love myself enough to put me first. Never done that before.
Most definitely. Thank you, Heather, so much for sharing that, because a part of this process is we have to do that to stand in our power. Like I'm saying, I'm a recovering people pleaser. I used to always put everybody first, and I would say yes to everybody. And then it turned into, like, you know, bouts of depression, anxiety, and then not realizing, why can't I get all my dreams? Like, why can't I, you know, manifest things that I want? So it's about having those boundaries and being able to, you know, put yourself first, most definitely. So thank you, Janet. Would you like to share your image of what it looks like, Heather, for you?
There we are. So for me, it's about, I just did this like stupid fast. It's about actually doing the artwork, actually doing the writing, and then not being afraid to share that, and myself looking in the mirror, being proud of who I am, and not worrying about who doesn't get it, because somebody will, and
Yes.
it will make a difference. So I feel like it's important enough to try to share it.
Yes. And you do it for you, because it feels good for you to make the art, and you're sharing the joy that comes with that. And you don't need their approval or their acceptance.
No, not at all. I need to share. There we go.
Okay.
I'm one of those people that can't wear watches, and I tend to fry electronics when I get uptight. So it's nerve-wracking to actually talk about stuff sometimes. But can y'all hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, it's all about learning to love yourself for me. And I think people can't evolve spiritually if they can't love themselves. You can't be loved by other people if you don't love yourself, because you can't let them in. You can't show them who you are. And I just think that's super important. I'm in a meeting.
Beautiful. She's practicing her boundaries right now. Excellent. Thank you, Heather, so much.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate it. All right. Who else would like to share what your why is? We have 2 participants raise their hand. Let me see. Okay. We have Jen Colombo.
Hi there. That was really fabulous, first of all.
Oh, good. I'm glad you got something out of it.
A beautiful, refreshing approach to the why, just an FYI. This is my drawing, quick drawing with some crayons.
Hold on 1 second. I'm looking for you. There you are. I'm going to spotlight you so everybody can see you. Okay, there you are. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Perfect.
So this is my drawing I did real quick with crayons. And me at like the center is like a heart, but also if you were like looking down, and it's representative of like a ripple effect going out. Because I know that what brings me joy, my why, is creating and co-creating with others brings me so much joy, and being the conduit to allow them to have a visual representation, to either allow their words of wisdom to go out to clients and or to elevate the energy of their space around them. And I love how like me just working with one person, like will like just keep going down. And I think that is the coolest thing. So
Beautiful. Thank you so much. And it is a ripple effect, right? And that's why we have to take action. And that third day, we are going to be taking action. And then as we're taking action, fears might come up. Those roadblocks might come up, but then it's like, how do we deal with this? That's what we're going to go into tomorrow. But thank you, Jen. That was really beautiful. And I loved your ripple effect drawing.
thank you.
That was amazing. I see Manal, but the camera is not on, but Ellen, your camera is on. So I'm going to have you speak. We have a lot of people raising their hands. We're going to do one last one and go ahead and share your art, Ellen.
Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. All right.
Awesome.
So I just kind of watercolored 3 cards using the same colors across the cards, and my I would say my why, and I don't know if it's too broad, but it's connection. It's connecting. I guess I'm looking to do group work in my area, maybe even expand online, where we connect with self, the earth, the divine, source love, each other, community. So the 3 C's were more connection, creativity, community that were coming up. And I guess I have a lot of apprehension and fear that's holding me back. And I think a piece of it is the more that I embrace it, and I guess I can deconstruct it through creative processes. So I guess I was coming for the inspiration, almost like the kick in the ass today, to kind of help give me that little nudge and push forward. So this is just where it started. So anyway,
Beautiful.
connection, creativity, and community.
Beautiful. I love it. And I love the 3 C's. And yeah, and tomorrow, that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to look at that fear and what's stopping you for that connection and the creativity and the community. So we're going to explore that some more. But thank you for sharing. That was beautiful, beautiful work. I'm going to share my screen one more time. We're going to go back to this sticker. Let me see. Which is, it says day 1 prize, Art of Healing and Manifesting book. And to be one of the winners, all I'm asking you to do, and just for community, I think that's a part of that, because our soul really needs this, is to share your artwork, share what you created. It might be a simple sketch. It could be, maybe you want to work on it for another hour or so, whatever time that you have. And underneath this particular sticker that's going to go into the Facebook group, post your image and then comment on 3 other people's posts. That is part of this process, is showing up and playing, right? Because it's more fun when you show up and share. All right. And like I said, tomorrow we will be navigating with the fear. We're going to see what that looks like for you. And then I'm going to give you some tips and tricks about how to work with it, because it doesn't just necessarily go away. It's part of the, it's there for a reason. It's definitely a learning. It's something that we have to learn from. But I thank you so much for showing up and staying this whole hour with me. If you have any other questions that happen to come up, you're welcome to let me know. We do have a replay page. So if you happen to miss a day, the replays are going to be going out at 5 p.m. Eastern. And yeah, I just appreciate you being here, and I look forward to seeing you all here tomorrow and seeing your artwork in the group. Okay, thank you. Sending you lots and lots and lots of love. Bye.